Another Brick fan here with a look at some of the new Harry Potter sets scheduled to be released in September. September is shaping up to be a really big month for Harry Potter set releases. The summer wave of Harry Potter sets is hitting stores in the US after a big delay, but I'm going to cover this Harry Potter sets that are scheduled for September 2020 in this video. First up is the new collectible minifigure series. This is Harry Potter Series 2. The official images have been released at lego.com, and so let's take a closer look. First up, here's the packaging, and I think it looks really good. This is going to be set 71028. It's going to have 16 new minifigures from the Harry Potter universe. I expect them to be about $5 for each blind bag, just like the other CMFs from this year, but I read somewhere that Target was selling them for the old price of $3.99, or basically $4 per blind bag. Haven't found any near me yet, but I know they're out there because I've seen some reviews already of these minifigures. Here's a quick overview of all of the figures. I think this looks really good. You see all the 16 minifigures. I think they have really good looks to all of them. I think most of them are based on the Half-Blood Prince or even the Deathly Hallows. So these are kind of the later movies that these seem to be based on. Most of the characters look a bit older. There's only one, in fact, that is in a Hogwarts uniform, which is a nice change. So it's good to see the characters in other types of clothing rather than their Hogwarts school uniforms. These are officially due to be released on the 1st of September. And like I said, they have been spotted in some Target stores around the US. So the characters include Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, Ron Weasley, Ginny Weasley, Fred Weasley, George Weasley, Luna Lovegood, Moaning Myrtle, Griphook, Albus Dumbledore, Professor Sprout, Neville Longbottom, Kingsley Shacklebolt, Bellatrix Lestrange, and Lily and James Potter. Let's take a closer look at the minifigures. First up, we have Ginny Weasley. She's dressed up in the Slug Club dress from the Christmas party that Professor Slughorn released, and she looks like a little cup with ice cream in it. So I think she looks really good here. And then we have Harry Potter kind of in his street clothes. So he's wearing a gray jacket, red shirt. He does have the Half-Blood Prince's alchemy book with all of the extra notes and stuff that really gave him an opportunity to do well in potions class during the Half-Blood Prince year at Hogwarts, which I believe was his 6th year at Hogwarts. Next up, we have Griphook, which I think looks really good here. He's the only one that has the short legs, which makes sense for a goblin. He does have this really nice Sword of Gryffindor piece here, which I think looks really good. I really like that, carrying also a key piece, and then obviously his headpiece has those ears molded into it. Next to him is Bellatrix Lestrange. Bellatrix is in her Prisoner of Azkaban, so she's in her Azkaban prison uniform. Comes with these handcuffs, this nice 1x2 printed tile with what appears to be her Azkaban prison number. I think this is a good looking figure, and I like the eye printing with her kind of really sunken hollow eyes. I think that's pretty cool for an Azkaban prisoner. Next up are the Weasley twins, Fred and George, and I'm not sure which one is which, quite honestly, yet. I think it's Fred on the left here and George on the right, but they're really more defined by their facial expressions. They have a slightly different look for their outfits. So one of them obviously one has his jacket open and the other has it buttoned up, and it looks like they are wearing the same underneath those though, so I think that's pretty clever. These are going to be tough to feel out. You're going to have to look for those accessories. Definitely the 2x2 printing of the Marauders map, which I think looks good. There's another version on a 2x3 tile that's the Marauders map open, so that's kind of nice to get a different Marauders map print. I think I've seen a picture of the inside of this case, and it actually can hold some pieces, so kind of like in Series 1 where we had the donuts inside of a briefcase. I think this also has some potions or candies or something inside. I'll have to wait till I can open up the series to see what's actually in there. Up next is Moaning Myrtle, who looks really good in this blue color scheme. From what I've heard, that hair piece there, which looks a little bit translucent in this picture, but that is a softer hairpiece, so it might be fairly easy to find that. And of course she has a book with her. I don't know what's on the tile, but I'm presuming that's printed. And then we have Luna Lovegood with her lion headpiece and a more casual outfit, which I think looks good. I believe she also comes with a hairpiece, so she can wear either that lion headpiece or a traditional hairpiece for Luna. Here we have Kingsley Shacklebolt, and I really like this robe piece that he has. It's kind of split, and I think it's split that same way on both sides, which makes for a good look on a front and back type covering. I like the purple coloring underneath that as well, and that hat piece is pretty cool. Albus Dumbledore looks like he has a new hat and hair combo piece there. Same beard, and this printing looks pretty similar to others we've seen in this later Harry Potter wave. And I do like the fox mold. I think that looks pretty good as well. Next we have Neville Longbottom. As I mentioned earlier, he's the one that is in his Hogwarts uniform. Everybody else is in different outfits. He does have the Monstrous Book of Monsters there, which I think is going to be a really cool book piece to have. The Neville figure himself is pretty plain. I think he does have the 3/4 legs. It's hard to tell from this picture, but judging from him standing next to Professor Sprout there, he looks a little shorter. So I'm guessing those are the 3/4 legs for Neville. And Professor Sprout, I think, looks very good too. I like the nougat printing color here that she has for her dress. It's nice to see that molded piece there with the hair, and it looks like it's got ear muffs as well as the hat in that kind of tan color. Looks good. She has a mandrake piece, which I think is very similar to the mandrake piece that Neville had from Series 1, so it's nice to get another version of that. And then finally we have Hermione Granger and Ron Weasley, and it looks like they're dressed in their street clothes, presumably visiting Hogsmeade. So they have some cups here with either pumpkin juice or butterbeer in them, and I think these new pieces look really cool as well. As far as a field guide kind of thing goes, I think you're going to look for those butterbeer goblets, and then you're going to have to try and distinguish the two apart by feeling for the hair pieces. There's a lot of these figures that seem like they're all going to kind of feel the same in the blind bag, so it's going to be, I think, a tricky field guide to get all 16 characters on your first go. I'm looking forward to the challenge. We're also getting another set of brickheads from the Harry Potter universe. I think this is the 6th set of brickheads that we have from the Harry Potter universe. Of course, there were a couple from Fantastic Beasts as well. We have had several brickheads, Harry Potter brickheads in the past, and I've reviewed all of those, I believe. So you can find those reviews if you're interested. This is Hagrid and Buckbeak. It's going to be set 40412. Not a lot of other details about this set yet. Has not been officially announced, but I did find these images out there. Looking closer at the two figures, I do like the look of Hagrid. I think he's pretty accurate, and he does seem a little bit taller than a normal brickhead, which I think would be appropriate considering he's, a giant or part giant. Hagrid is carrying one of the newer lantern pieces that were released with the Harry Potter sets that started in 2018. He does have his pink umbrella there, and I think the styling looks pretty good. He has that big overcoat that he normally carries, his large beard and unkempt hair. I think Buckbeak looks really good from the front. You see the right angle plate in the front there, so representing kind of clawed feet. And then the beak looks good, and then the different gray coloring there makes for some good molding of him. The problem I see is brickheads are pretty square, so I think it's going to be difficult to show off a hippogriff or kind of horse-like character when you're talking about something that's square, since should have a longer body. When looking at it from the side, like that picture from the front of the box, it looks like they've made those wing pieces a little bit longer, but the distance between his forelegs and hind legs is pretty short. So we'll see. Once I get my hands on the set, it'll be interesting to see how they pulled off the hippogriff type look. Finally, one of the big announcements is this new Diagon Alley set, and there are a few images that are starting to get out there on the internet. This is set 75978. Has 5,544 pieces, at least that's what's being reported now. 14 different minifigures. And I've heard cost estimates between $350 to $400 for this set, which seems pretty fair. For over 5,000 pieces, about $400. It is in minifigure scale, which actually surprised me. I thought it was going to be something more towards the scale of the Hogwarts Castle, which, you know, seems to me to make sense to make another set in that size, and maybe more of Diagon Alley could have been included. Although this does have 7 different buildings in it. So you're looking at Ollivander's Wand Shop, Flourish and Blot's Scribbleless Writing Implements, Quality Quidditch Supplies, Florian Fortescue's Ice Cream Parlor, the Daily Prophet, and the Weasley's Wizard Wheezes. I think the Daily Prophet is a very small, it's just kind of the entrance to the Daily Prophet from what I understand. I have heard some people complaining, and I kind of agree that it would have been nice to have Gringotts Bank. Obviously a very big piece of this. The set looks really good. There's a lot of really good detail in it. There's a lot of stickers that indicate, you know, a lot of extra detail and all the shop names and things like that. So that's kind of been a reason to do that. It's all done in dollhouse style so that you can work on some of the interiors of the buildings, which I think is kind of cool as well. And from what I've also seen, they are modular, so these just connect together. It's about 40 inches wide altogether, so that makes for a very large model. I think it's only about 5 or 6 inches deep though, so it's going to be interesting to see how much room there is actually in the interiors. The minifigures are shown on the bottom of the box. This isn't probably a great image, but it's the best I've got right now. And the minifigures include Hagrid, the twins, Fred and George Weasley, Molly Weasley, Ginny Weasley, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Harry Potter, Draco Malfoy, Lucius Malfoy, Gilderoy Lockhart, Garrick Ollivander, Florian Fortescue, and a Daily Prophet photographer. So to me, this is really based on the second movie, which is the Chamber of Secrets, where you can act out that scene in the bookshop where Gilderoy Lockhart is signing all of his books and where Lucius Malfoy gives Ginny the diary of Voldemort or Tom Riddle. So to me, that seems like the time frame for this. And of course, since it's built modular, it probably lends itself to having an expansion set or some other set that'll come out that might have Gringotts Bank and some other shops for Diagon Alley. Because of its modular nature, I can see them coming out with a companion set to this that has more buildings from Diagon Alley and Gringotts Bank, perhaps. So I think there's still room for expansion, and it's I'm really actually looking forward to this set, although it does have a pretty high price tag. But with over 5,000 pieces and sticking around $400, it's probably a really good price per piece value, and 14 Harry Potter minifigures, some of which we don't see very often, like Molly Weasley, for example, and Gilderoy Lockhart we haven't seen for a long time. So I think it'd be nice to get this set. Hope you've enjoyed my thoughts on these upcoming Harry Potter sets. I'm looking forward to getting them and building them and reviewing them. I'm going to get started on another video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to my channel. I've left a link to my other Harry Potter videos up here on the screen.